Hi, my name's Rachel and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're gonna play Becca's Spookopoly to pick my October TBR. So a couple weeks ago, Becca posted her announcement video for this year's round of Spookopoly happening in October, and this could not have come at a more perfect time. So if you've been watching my channel for a little bit, or if you're new here, I've been playing other creators' TBR games, occasionally, not for every TBR, but I have been rotating in other creators' TBR games, and I was already planning on doing Becca's older version of Spookopoly from last year in October. So this came literally at the best time ever, so I could play along with everybody else who's participating in the readathon. For those of you who don't know, Spookopoly is a TBR game created by Becca from Becca and the Books. I will have her channel and her announcement video for Spookopoly linked in the description below, so make sure you check her out. I'm not going to go over every single rule. However, if I land on a space, I will tell you what the prompt for that space is, since I'm going to pick my books for it. Also, I am going to be starting off rolling 4 prompts. However, every single time I've ever played Spookopoly, I roll a double, so I'm assuming I'll get maybe 5 or 6 prompts by the end of this. I'm really hoping I don't add too many rolls onto it, because I'm also going to be doing the Buzzword Readathon Challenge prompt for October, which is the Buzzword Reading Challenge created by Kayla from Books and Lala, and I'll have her link down below and her Buzzword Readathon Challenge video down below as well. I believe Kayla posts at end of December, January, with a list of prompts for the year for other people to do as well as just try out. She used to do it as a readathon, but now she just does it as a year-long challenge that everyone can participate in if they want to. And my book club, The Reading Realm, also has a pick for October, which I'm really hoping to squeeze in here. So I will either tell you about it when I fit it into a prompt, or we'll talk about it at the end when I go over my buzzword pick as well. Without further ado, let's get into the rolls. Roll 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Passed. So for my first roll, I landed on passed, and this prompt is to read a book you meant to read in the past, whether it was on a past TBR or you just meant to get to it sooner and you haven't yet. And for that, I picked The Perfect Sun by Freida McFadden. I put this on my June TBR, I'm pretty sure it was, and I never got to it. I actually did go back and watch my first ever TBR video, which was my May TBR for this year, and I completed all those books, which is fantastic. So then I went and watched my June one, and I saw The Perfect Sun, and I knew that this would be perfect for October because it's like a mystery thriller, so it has those good October autumnal spooky vibes that are perfect for Spookopoly. This book, I believe, is about a woman who she just thinks she has the perfect life. Her marriage is perfect, her children are perfect, her house is perfect, her life is perfect. And one day, that belief comes crashing to the ground when 2 detectives knock on the door asking to talk to her son because they have questions for him about a girl who went missing. I don't know anything more than that, and because it is like a mystery thriller, I don't really want to know any more than that. I know the synopsis had a little bit extra information in there, and I didn't want to read it because I feel like that was a good enough hook for me to already be intrigued. And I read The Inmate by Freida McFadden like maybe 4 or 5 months ago, and I actually was really surprised at how much I liked it in the end, so I'm hopeful this one will surprise me as well, because sometimes mystery thrillers just don't do it for me, but I always like to try them out because I feel like they're good in concept. But so I'm really excited to get to this one again. Roll 2. 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ghostface. For roll number 2, I landed on Ghostface, and this is to pick a book title with sound words in it. I believe this is the one Becca said was the hardest prompt, but luckily I had one book on my physical TBR that fit this prompt, and that is Our Last Echoes by Kate Alice Marshall. I was gifted this book by my friend Shay when she did an unhaul of her beautiful massive library a couple months ago, so I don't actually know what it's about. Let's find out together. In 1973, the 31 residents of Bitter Rock disappeared. In 2003, so did my mother. Now I've come to Bitter Rock to find out what happened to her and to me, because Bitter Rock has many ghosts, and I might be one of them. Sophia's earliest memory is of drowning. She remembers the darkness of the water and the briny taste as it filled her throat, the sensation of going under. She remembers hands pulling her back to safety, but that memory is impossible because she's never been to the ocean. But then Sophia gets a mysterious call about an island named Bitter Rock and learns that she and her mother were there 15 years ago, and her mother never returned. The hunt for answers lures her to Bitter Rock, but the more she uncovers, the clearer it is that her mother is just one in a chain of disappearances. Ooh, I don't love like amnesia as a trope in books, but I'm hoping that this isn't just a case of her not remembering drowning and that there's maybe something like maybe a little supernatural at foot. Any case, it does sound interesting. I love books where like a family member has been dead for like a long time and then information comes out where suddenly people are like hopeful that maybe they're alive again, or even hopeful that maybe they can solve the mystery even though it's been like decades. So her mother had been missing for 15 years. Really makes me hopeful that it's gonna have those like investigative mystery, like finding really creepy things happening. Like that would be great, and I hope that is what this is about. I've definitely heard this author's name before, but I haven't heard a lot of people talk about this book, and I can't remember the last time I've heard somebody talk about this book. So if you've read this and you liked it, or even if you didn't like it, just let me know in the comments what you thought of this one, because I don't know much about it and I feel like I haven't heard about it a lot, but I'm still intrigued to read it. Roll 3. Okay. My first double, a 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Cauldron. And roll number 3, of course, was a double. So like I said before, now I started with 4 prompts. I will be doing 5. Roll number 3, I landed on cauldron, and this is the perfect ingredients. So this prompt means to read a book with 2 or more of your favorite tropes. And for this prompt, I'm going to pick my book club's pick for October, The Lies of Loch Lamora by Scott Lynch. So if you want to read this book with us in October, the Reading Realm Discord is linked down below. Please feel free to join us. All I know about The Lies of Loch Lamora is that this is about a man named Loch who goes by the Thorn of Camor. I think Camor is a city and he's kind of like the bane of this city's existence. And I know that he's got like a merry band of thieves and there's like a war brewing and he doesn't really want to be involved in it, but he's gonna get involved in it because it's kind of like ruining his vibe. And I have it on good authority that there is the found family trope in here, which is my absolute like top 2 favorite tropes. I think my top 2 favorite tropes of all time are Here Comes the Cavalry. If you don't know what that trope is, you're sorely missing out. And found family. So this definitely qualifies as at least one of my favorites. And another favorite trope of mine that I don't talk about often is like a band of thieves. So like Six or Crows, how it's like these misfits who are kind of like con artists and thieves. Like that vibe is I love that trope so much. Love it, love it. So I'm really excited to get to this one. And I'm really excited to read it with my book club. So please join us if you want to read this one in October. Roll 4, a 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Spoopy. For roll number 4, I landed on Spoopy, and this is to read a book that's a little spooky and a little cute. So for this one, I thought it would be perfect to pick a middle grade, and I'm currently in the middle of the Legends of Aries on Sea series, so I'm going to pick up Festergrim by Thomas Taylor. In the first book, we follow a young boy named Herbie Lemon, and he makes friends with a girl named Violet Parma, and they are like they're just 2 kids in a spooky town who investigate like mysteries and crimes and murder, and they get up to just no good in general. I don't want to spoil what this book is about for you because there's a name in the synopsis that will spoil the first book for you, but I will just say at the end of the synopsis for this one, it says, with echoes of both fairy tales and monster movies, this deliciously creepy addition to a beloved series brings chills and giggles in equal measure. So I feel like this is literally the perfect book for the spoopy prompt. So I can't wait to read this one and continue the series. Okay, and the extra roll for the doubles, a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Seance. So for my last roll, prompt number 5, I got random letter generator. So let's generate a letter and see what I can find. Okay, I've got my handy dandy wheel spinner here. I'm going to screen record for you. Okay, I'm screen recording. I have a couple books in mind that I want to read because I am going to a cabin by myself at the end of October for 2 days. And I really have some short reads that I want to get to at the cabin. So I'm hoping the wheel spinner will be nice to me and come up with a letter for one of the reads that I really want to get to. Okay, let's spin the wheel and see what we get. What am I supposed to do with A? A. I don't have anything that starts with A. Oh, wait a minute. This could work. Okay, so my wheel spinner chose A, which is not a letter for one of the books that I wanted to get to when I go to the cabin. However, did recently get for my birthday Alcatraz versus the Evil Librarians by Brandon Sanderson. I don't know if this is like spooky or not. I mean, it's got evil librarians, so there has to be a slight level of like creepy scariness. So hopefully it will give me a good autumnal October vibe when I read it. The synopsis says, on my 13th birthday, I, Alcatraz Smedry, yes, I got named after a prison, don't ask, received my inheritance, a bag of sand, and then I accidentally destroyed my foster parents' kitchen. It's not my fault, things just break around me, I swear. I thought the sand was a joke until evil librarians came to steal it. Yeah, you're probably thinking librarians are nice people who recommend good books, but that's just what they want you to think. It turns out they're actually a secret cabal keeping the truth from you, a hidden world filled with magical eyeglasses, talking dinosaurs, and knights with crystal swords. Oh my god, my son would love this book. Or so my grandpa Smedry claimed when he suddenly showed up to rescue me. So now I have to go with him to invade the local library and get that sand back before it's used to conquer the world. And Grandpa says how I keep breaking things is actually an amazing talent. There's no way that could all be true, right? I think this sounds really cute. And I think it's also a book my son is going to love when he's a little bigger. He's only 5 right now. He doesn't have the attention span to sit down and let me read a chapter book to him that doesn't have pictures on every page. But I'm definitely thinking that this is going to be one to add to the stacks that I want to read to him as he's getting older. And it sounds adorable. So guess I'll be reading this in October. So like I said earlier, at the end of October, I will be staying in a cabin for 2 days. It's not going to be in like a remote area because I'm too scared for that. It is in a kind of like suburban-y area, but it's like a cabin on a canal and there's a lot of trees. It's very foresty. There's a garden and there's like a dock and I can sit like over the water and read, and I can't wait. It's gonna be chilly. I'm gonna bundle up in a sweats and a sweatshirt and I'm gonna sit and read all day. So I want to try to get through 2 short books while I'm at the cabin. One of them is You're Not Supposed to Die Tonight by Kaylin Bayron, and I picked this one obviously because it's tiny. I think it's like 200 pages, and from what I've heard, this is just like a really fun camp, not like set at a camp. It's a really fun like camp type of slasher, although there is a cabin on the picture. Ooh, hold on, let's read the synopsis because I don't know anything about this actually. Charity has the summer job of her dreams, playing the final girl at Camp Mirror Lake. Guests pay to be scared in this full contact terror game as Charity and her summer crew recreate scenes from a classic slasher film, The Curse of Camp Mirror Lake. The more realistic the fear, the better for business. But on the last weekend of the season, Charity's coworkers begin disappearing, and when one ends up dead, Charity's role as the final girl suddenly becomes all too real. If Charity and her girlfriend Bezzy hope to survive the night, they'll need to figure out what the killer is after. As they unravel the bloody history of the real Mirror Lake, Charity discovers that there may be more to the story than she ever suspected. Oh my god, wait, this sounds so fun. Oh my god, wait. First of all, I love this cover. And I just want to point out something which I think is so funny because I didn't notice it until right now. There is an owl on the cover who's like in a tree branch and he looks very like dark and menacing. And my husband just came back from Italy and he brought me an owl which was made out of volcanic ash and it looks just like that. So I feel like that's a sign that this book is going to be a fun, campy time. And since I'll be alone in a cabin, Maybe it will scare me a little bit. I also have a couple of ebooks that I want to get to at the cabin. So I have Slewfoot by Brahm, and I have The Eyes of the Best Part by Monica Kim. I could also read A House with Good Bones by T. Kingfisher. I have it on hold for my library, and I think it's available like within the next 2 weeks. And then I also have an ebook called The Alone Time, which again, I will be having alone time. So I feel like the theme of that book might relate to me in that moment and give me like those creepy, oh my God, I should have never came here by myself vibes. I am also going to be reading a book for another episode of Never Say Never. Also, at some point in October, I would love to finish my reread of The Assassin's Blade that I'm buddy reading with my friend Danny. She's much further than me. I have to catch up as per usual. I have just about 190 pages left of this, so I would love to get a little bit farther before October hits, because right now it's like September 26th, and then hopefully finish this in October as well. Hi, it's Editing Rachel here. I forgot to talk about my Buzzword readathon pick. So the word for October is relationships, so essentially mother, father, brother, sister, etc. So I'm going to be reading The Lover by Sylvia Moreno Garcia. The Lover is about a girl named Judith, and she knows that her sister Alice is the pretty sister, but that doesn't stop Judith from wishing for love, and when a handsome, gentlemanly hunter appears in their village, seeking lodging from the cold, she believes her lover has finally arrived. He does indeed choose to stay in the village, but as Alice's husband, not her own, when another stranger comes out of the woods looking every bit a vagrant, he offers Judith something mysterious and enticingly strange. Against all reason and decency, she welcomes both men into her life in different ways. As forbidden longings ensnare each of them, an unrelenting winter storm and an evasive wolf on the prowl has everyone on edge. This is extremely short. This short story is only 43 pages long, according to Amazon. And this is also on my top 10 books to read in 2024 list, which I have not completed very much of. So glad to finally get to this one in October as well. As per usual, my TBR is feeling really ambitious. Do I think I'll get to all of these books? No. Am I going to try really hard? Yes. But my husband just came back from Italy and he has vacation for about 2 weeks. Actually, I think he has to work a couple days next week, but then he does have 2 weeks of vacation. So I'm probably going to end up hanging out with him, playing video games with him, finishing watching Demon Slayer with him, dropped Assassin's Blade, whoops, and just like chilling and hanging out and spending time together since we were separated for so long. So I'm gonna do my best to have good time management skills and not doom scroll on my phone. If I have time where I'm not like actively engaging with my husband, then I will put my nose to the page. I was trying to say like put the pedal to the metal, but I said put my nose to the page, and I don't know if that's the right terminology. If you've made it this far, please leave a jack-o'-lantern emoji down in the comments, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!